Hi, folks. This is Jason Moore alongside MTGOacademy.com, and I'd like to welcome you to the latest installment of Dime. Oh, dozen. We've got some more affinity here. We're going to be playing in the Pauper two-man queues. And if you've checked out some of my content on another website, I somewhat recently posted that or wrote that Affinity is my go-to Pauper deck. So this is going to be my main squeeze in terms of playing in competitive Pauper tournaments and stuff. Now, when we get into these matches, we're going to decide whether or not I'm going to regret that decision. But I'm not going to spoil it for you. You're going to have to watch for yourself. So, what is Affinity? Why does it matter? Why should you care? Affinity is a very synergistic artifact based deck. I struggle with calling it aggro combo or calling it mid range, but the basic gist of it is it tries to play an unfair game by amassing a number of artifact permanents and playing big fat creatures. It supplements all those creatures by being able to draw cards for very cheap and to burn people in the face with Galvanic Blast and Fling. So let's quickly go over everything we're playing here. We've got all artifact lands, 17 of them. All of them are on color as 4-ofs, with the exception of a single Darksteel Citadel to round everything out. We're actually playing a Sun Chaser version of Affinity, so we're incorporating white for Auriok Sun Chaser, which is a 3/3 flyer for 2, and also supplementing with some sideboard cards we'll talk about in a minute. We've also got Carapace Forger, which is a 4/4 for 2. We've got Frogmite, which is an artifact 2/2 for 0. And we've got Mirror Enforcer, an artifact 4/4 for usually for 2 or less. Lastly, we have our finisher, which is a Tog. This guy becomes huge and kills people from 15 life or more. And we can combo him off with Fling here, which is apparently not in my collection. But it is. I think MTGO is just being a cheeky bastard right now. Anyway, Fling lets us sacrifice a Tog after sacrificing a bunch of artifacts to make him huge and kill the opponent. Then we're also playing 4 copies of Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star, also not in our collection, and Springleaf Drum. And all of these help fix our colors, and some of them draw cards for us, while Springleaf Drum lets us actually ramp up 1 mana. Then to round everything out, we've got Perilous Research, which you can use to sack a Chromatic Star and draw another card, or you can just use it to sack a creature that's about to get killed, or just an irrelevant land or artifact. And then Thoughtcast draws us 2 cards for blue, which is great. Really, really great. Out of the sideboard, we've got Ancient Grudge for the mirror match. Hydroblast and Pyroblast to nuke everybody. We've got Journey to Nowhere as additional creature removal. There are problematic creatures for this deck, including Gurmag Angler and Fangren Marauder. And opposing Atogs would also be a problem, I would think. We've got 2 copies of Raise to hit Karoo lands, to hit Drawn lands, all that kind of stuff. And 2 copies of Standard Bearer, which I don't even know is good in this deck. But the idea is that it can take all of the auras from a hexproof deck away by making them target the Standard Bearer. It's kind of like a Spellskite. Works against works against Mono Green Stompy and some other decks like that. So that's a sideboard, a lot of 3-ofs and 2-ofs, not too dynamic or intricate. And this deck, on the other hand, is pretty dynamic, pretty intricate. There's a lot of lines of play. The games can become kind of strange, actually, after you play out your initial threats. You have to decide when you want to crack your Chromatic Stars, when you want to make certain colors of mana, and all kinds of stuff like that. So I hope you guys will enjoy watching these matches, and I want to thank you very much for tuning in to Dime a Dozen, 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 Dozen. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to this round of Classic Pauper in the two-man queues. We are playing Affinity. We're going to play first, and we cannot realistically keep this because there's no lands, and that's not good. So let's mulligan. And this it looks like we can keep, so we're going to. I'm going to lead with the Springleaf Drum and play Carapace Forger and something else on turn 2. And I'm going to play the Tree of Tails because sometimes I get screwed up with what lands to play, and that colorless land doesn't really do anything for us. So he just passes here, and we drew an Auriok Sun Chaser. So I'm going to go ahead and I guess play Chromatic Sphere rather than playing the leaving up the Galv Blast. So we'll see how that goes for us. And we'll see what colors he's playing, what kind of deck he's playing. If he's not playing black, I think we're going to be in good shape with the number of threats we're going to present. But he is playing black, so it's all a moot point at this stage. Blue-black to be specific. So this guy's going to die. Yep. So now I think we want to start off by cracking this for white and seeing what that gets us. Gets us a Mirror Enforcer, and we have 4 artifacts. But we don't have white. So let's say we play the Mirror Enforcer off of our 3 lands, and he kills it. We don't have a way to realistically cast the Sun Chaser. So I'm just going to cast the Sun Chaser now. Even though it's slightly less damage, we have to assume that 2-4 that he's got more removals, so it's okay to play the weaker threat to begin with. And then on turn 3, he could have a lot of things like Trinket Mage or Phyrexian Rager, so being able to fly over is not such a bad idea. Alright, so let's see what he actually does have. An Evoked Muldrifter. Okay, and he played his land, so now we're making some progress here. So he's Bug, and he has Muldrifters. I don't know what the Bug would be for. So first we'll attack. And then we'll play a Mirror Enforcer. And it's only going to take a few hits of this to seal things up with our Galvanic Blast. Okay, green. Coiling Oracle. Satyr Wayfinder. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what he puts in the yard. 4 cards. Oh, he's taking Mountain. This is a real brew. I mean, this is interesting. Trying to do a lot of different things. He's got 4, maybe he even has the full 5 colors. Graveyard interactions. Instants and sorceries. Okay, so which one do I sack? If I sack the Sun Chaser, he can chump block. The Enforcer raises our artifact count, but I don't know that that's that useful. I can also Galv Blast this. For some reason I want to sack the Enforcer. Maybe that's stupid. We get in for a guaranteed 3 here, and we get to save our... Alright, so we're going to pop this. See what's going on. And we have a minute less than our opponent does. Another chromatic star. So I think we'll pop it again. It's a land. So I'll just attack first. And then I'll play the land. At this stage, we're really trying to get his life total low enough and hope that he doesn't have life gain, because it's going to take him a real long time to try and kill us. So there's a tribal. Yeah, his deck is doing way too much. Not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying his deck is doing way too much. So he's got 6 land, or he's got 5 lands. So he's still 2 turns away from getting a Chainer's Edict flashed back. Okay, I'll take it. And we're not. Obviously, we weren't trying to dodge any type of removal, or sorry, counter spell. Not saying he doesn't have one. Okay, there goes another guy. So what really might be unfortunate is him hitting some mole drifters and or brainstorms and doing something there. And he's playing AK. Yeah, this is just really weird. So he definitely has access to Chainer's Edict now. Except it costs double black and he chose not to get that. Okay, now he's going to have that double black. I think he might be playing Gurmag Angler. Because he's playing all these fetches and Satyr Wayfinder. Yeah, and he's about to cast it right now. So that's going to be a problem. That's enough for us to try and bring in Journey to Nowhere, I think. And we're going to save this Galv Blast because we got to do something about Gurmag Angler. Any single creature we have could be a problem. This is also interesting too, because we could try and play to the out of flinging him to death by drawing in a Tog. We're basically on 2 turns. We could Galv Blast him to 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then we have plenty. So I think, well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 with the Atog. So we don't actually have to do that. We can Galv Blast the Mole Drifter this turn. And then if we draw a Tog, it's still a win. Ostensibly. Let's just do this now. That buys us another turn. So 4 cards in hand. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Well, we're not dead, though. I mean, he can probably just kill that. If he tries to kill it, I have to Galv Blast the Angler and fling my Frogmite, which puts me on pretty much 0 outs. No, we're just dead. Alright. Well, his deck did about everything it needed to do to win that game, but I have a feeling that it's not going to perform that seamlessly in all of these games. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Now, I'm not really sure what is quote unquote bad here. Actually, Galvanic Blast doesn't seem that lovely. We outclassed most of his creatures except for those anglers, so we really just want to get rid of those. And then he has red spells and blue spells. So that kind of makes it a question. His blue spells are Muldrifter and Brainstorm. His red spells are Tribal Flames and Stagger Shock, and he's probably going to bring in some heavy hitting artifact hate like Gorilla Shaman, which might mean that we want Galv Blast instead of Hydroblast. And I think Fling is actually nice because he's killing so many of our guys one for one that if we can just get an Atog out, I think that's one opportunity to win. All of the card draw I think is good because again he's gonna one for one kill all of our guys. So maybe Galvanic Blast is just better because it can also help us with an angler. So I think we're gonna try this. So his deck is playing Delve, Domain. It's playing Rebound. It's kind of just a Domain deck, but instead of playing those creature threats like Mat Go Rioters and Wild Nicodle, he's playing more controlling elements like Muldrifter, and he's playing Satyr Wayfinder. I don't know. I feel like we should be able to beat this, but we'll see. Gonna play first. This is a tricky one because it doesn't do anything without a land. If we had one Frogmite, I would say yes to it, but I think as it stands now, it's just not worth it. So let's mulligan. And this one we can keep. Also not too exciting, but not too bad either. I'll start actually with the drum, I think. Because if we can cast any of our turn 2 creatures that we draw, and that gives us an extra mana if we do that. So I could crack the sphere, but I'm not going to because I want 1, 2, 3, 4. I want that enforcer. Okay. I should actually F8 and I should F6 this turn. Okay, so that didn't really do anything for him. Took the mountain. Okay, so we have 5. I'm going to go ahead and crack this for blue to start. We draw in a Tog, which I don't want to cast right off the bat, I don't think. Because he can just edict it or whatever. So if he attacks, we do not block because he could have a Tribal Flames for 3. Alright, cool. We'll do this first. And here, see, he's missing some critical colors, like black would keep him in this game. Oh my goodness. So he's almost dead. I don't even know if we need to play a Tog at this stage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So I'm not flinging this. I don't even know if I play the Atog. I can't fling for 20, but I'm close. I think it's better to play it than to not. Two, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. He's gonna blow up a land. No. Cool. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So I can try and kill by hitting him for some amount, leaving up 2 mana. So this is for 4, which would cost me 2 artifacts, which I think I'm okay with. Sack these 2 lands. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. Well, I am a little concerned about him killing a Great Furnace. So I'll play that land. Play this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. But I can't cast Fling this turn, so. So here I think I'm just going to sack 1. Well, if he has another Flames, we probably want to save one of those. So I think we'll just hit him for 1 here. We're not in a super rush. Just we do want to rush his removal, but we're not in a rush to get around. Or sorry, we're not racing him like he's gonna beat us immediately. So his grudge is still in the yard. Okay. We also have to start worrying about. Okay, so here he's actually dead if he doesn't block. So let's give him a chance to. I mean, he's probably going to block. Yeah. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So now we will sack the Springleaf Drum. Okay, we're looking okay. Now he has black, which is scary. He's just gonna Chainer's Edict me here. Which sucks, but I think we gotta let it happen. 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Yeah, we don't want to stack our whole board for nothing. And he's 1 land away from another Chainer's Edict. So things are not looking good. Here comes Angler. Oh, maybe not. I don't know what this is. 6 mana, 5 mana. Oh. Alright. Whoa, he's doing both. Well, this ain't gonna last long. I actually think this card is incredibly slow for this format. But it seems to be working in his deck, so I can't really harp on it that much. So I guess we'll take the flyer out. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. We could only fling for 15. So that's no good. Oh, he is playing Rioters. How can he afford to play so much stuff? GG's. Well, that's it, guys. 2 tickets down the drain. Oh my goodness. I hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll talk to you later. We are back again playing Affinity. We've won the die roll. Let's play first. This one lander is not going to be acceptable. The fling also makes it awkward. So I think we're going to have to mulligan. And this is another one lander that looks pretty bad. We do have a Tog Fling to maybe get us back into it later. I think I'm actually going to keep this. We have the sphere to draw into something. I know it looks really horrible, but I think there's some reasons to keep it. I don't want to go to 5. And another blue-black deck. So here I could try and draw a land. Alright, I don't know if this is correct. So I could shock him, but that seems pointless. Maybe that was bad. We blew our only color source. So yeah, maybe that was just terrible. I'm not sure. So is blue-black the flavor of the month right now? I don't know. Brainstorm. Mental note. So we're dealing with some type of exhume strategy, perhaps. And he has Thought Scour. Yeah, it must be. Or he's just turboing out Gurmag Angler, which could also be a problem. I guess either way we look at it, it could be bad. He'll have 5 in the yard, so unless he has a land, he's not going to be able to angler this turn. Looks like he's keeping. And he'd have to get rid of his deep analysis. Okay. 3/3 flyer's not as bad. Okay, so I think we're actually in business here. We have 3 artifacts. So we can get real dirty. It's 4 artifacts. And we can play a Carapace Forger, which I think is our best threat right now. So things not looking too bad at this point. We can play an Enforcer to follow up if we want. He just blew his graveyard, so it's going to be a while for him to get an Angler down. But since he's playing black, he's probably got some good removal to screw with us. Or just a bunch of cantrips. Yeah, see, that's one issue I do have with some of these decks. Is that they just play so many cantrips. I feel like you can get to a point where you're just going to hit air. You're basically just going to cantrip into other cantrips when you need actual business. There is a threshold. There is a limit to how many of these things you can play. You need to eventually find stuff. Okay, so we're going to take a hit because I don't think he's going to block. Whoa. He's going to block and then try and use a trick. So I think I just attack with Carapace Forger, leave up Galvanic Blast, and then I can follow up with Mirror Enforcer. Because I think he's going to try and disfigure or something. Nope. I guess he's leaving up Counterspell. So can I play around that? 2, 4, 5. I guess I can lead with the Enforcer here. And then we have an Atog, which might be real deadly. Sure. It might be deadly. I don't know if it actually will be, but we do have the fling. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now we might be in trouble if an angler comes down. Now he's going to attack. Interesting. So I can do a... Okay, he's passing. Very strange. Do I play this pre-combat? I don't know, man. I mean, what are we playing around here? Ray of Command. I might play this now. Try and narrow down the number of things he could have. Well, we don't really know. Didn't really help. So we're attacking for a lot here. Potentially lethal. No Ray of Command. So we're basically playing around a spot removal spell at this point. Right now we're threatening 7 damage. And we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 with just the Atog flinging him. Do I want to sack that land? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 with the Atog flinging him. 7 puts him down to 12, so I don't have to do anything here. Because we have a lethal fling going on, so we can just wait. If he tries to tap out, I can try and kill him. What is this? Agony Warp. Okay, not the most effective. Sack this. And now if he taps out, I can go for the fling. Sure. Oh, he needed to draw that. Delver of Secrets. Yeah, to me it's just too risky to go for the... So now we can Galv Blast his Sultai Scavenger. I think I like that, because then none of his blocks are any good. Oh man, and he's just F6'd, so maybe it's the case that we should just go for it, but... Go for the fling. I think we're in a good... Oh, he just concedes. Okay. So maybe he had a counterspell and he accidentally F6'd. Then when we killed the scavenger, because it looked like we were kind of tapped out in a way. Then when we killed the scavenger, he might have just been tilting because he could have prevented that. Or he just feels like he can't get out of the spot, I guess. So Pyroblast looks pretty good. But not great. It still looks fine. And I think we want Journey also. So I think Fling is not very good against a deck with counter spells. And he has some creatures we care about. So maybe we won't even have room for Pyroblast. I mean, Pyroblast is pretty good. We saw a Ghastly Demise. Maybe we can cut this Perilous Research. He does have spot removal, but we want to play at instant speed if possible. I'm going to try this. I think cutting the 1 card draw spell is probably not so bad. We're going to see how this goes. Alright, here we go. And one lander on the draw, but we have all these things we can do, so I think I'll keep it. No threats is also kind of bad. This deck just doesn't mulligan well, so I'm just gonna keep some stuff that normally maybe I wouldn't. So here I am gonna play the sphere. So there's a few reasons for that. It gives me red so that I can play an Atog if I need to. It also can be sacked early and I don't have to worry about using it as a Tog food because it doesn't draw me a land if I use it as a Tog food, whereas the star does. So I think I'll just crack this right now since we have so many artifacts in hand. And I'm playing the seat in case I just naturally draw a thought cast. I can thought cast before deciding what land to play for the turn. Okay. Here. Oh, I thought a fatty was coming. I thought a fatty was coming. I thought a fatty was coming. Alright, I'm going to kill this Delver because we don't really have a lot going on. I mean, we could crack that star. I might do that first. So what did he do with Ponder? Didn't shuffle, so he's definitely flipping. And he's got a... So maybe we're just taking out his guys. There's a Frogmite, but I don't know if that does anything. Let's play it first. Now we'll sack this. That way, if we do find a Thought Cast, it only costs 1. Yep. He has no graveyard currently, so it might be in my best interest just to kill both of these guys right now. I mean, we should be able to raise a Sultai Scavenger. But he could also just leave it up for defense. I think I'll just blast. I mean, I guess it's better to blast the Scavenger than the Delver. So maybe I'll do that first. This at least reveals what's on the top of his library. So I don't know. Maybe this is wrong. Well, he can't kill it with Ghastly Demise, but he can remove... I might actually bait out with the Journey. Oh, he might demise this. That's interesting. Okay. So now I think I will... this is really rough. I think I will bait out with the Journey. It actually worked. So that's a little scary. He must have an angler coming down. I guess I'll play this. If he doesn't have the counterspell, it's much better to play it, but he possibly does. Oh, he didn't. Okay. He's got a kill spell? No. Not yet. Snuff out. Ouch. So I think he's going to have an angler here, and we're going to be in trouble. Oh. Not quite. That's an interesting card to bring in against us. So, is he on air? I don't understand. He's on removal spells. So he can cast anything else in his deck. Well, we have a pretty big Atog if the situation allows for it, but I'm not sure that the situation is going to allow for it. That's a good one. Well, I don't think this is living, but if it is, we do have to worry about that. That's for sure. But I can afford to sack. I can afford to sack a lot of these. Oh, I'm just gonna kill it. Oh, I can definitely deal with that. So I'll sack one of my drums and a couple lands. Oh, I only have to sack one. Is that correct? Yeah, that's fine. So now what are you gonna do? And again, we can afford to sack some things even into a snuff out. I mean, it's not wonderful, but oh, he's gonna find something though. We obviously have a lethal Atog here, but I'm not gonna risk it. I am gonna go pretty deep with it, but uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look who it is. Journey would be our best draw. Or Thought cast into Journey. No! Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. Wow. The hits keep coming, huh? He's a couple lands away from recasting that. Doesn't even shuffle. And that doesn't do a ton because it just makes this guy bigger. But it can save us 2 life, I guess. Which I think we're going to have to do because we're going to 4. Ugh. This will at least take him out the game for a second. Take him out the attack step. Pretty gross. I don't think we can get out. We need some really great draws. And now he has another threat. I don't think we can do anything. Yeah. Alright. Well, so much for that game. Yeah, any of these decks playing black removal is going to be noticeably more difficult than the ones that aren't. So I think for that reason, we probably want to bring back in the research. Pyroblast is not doing a lot. I mean, it is countering a Geist or a something of that nature. But I still kind of do want this. I don't think we can afford it. Maybe over one Galvanic Blast. We were pretty flooded that game, but we kept a land-heavy hand. So maybe we want something more threat-dense, but not this threat-dense. This is too threat-dense. Ah! It's going to be one of these situations, huh? Well, I guess we'll just have to keep this. This one looks pretty terrible, though. Gives him so much time to set up. It's just really nasty. Even if he plays a Delver, I mean, what can I do? I can't really afford to sack it. And I'm not going to crack that yet. sure. Well, if he just dirtles around with this for a while, maybe we'll be in decent shape. Has he really already looked at 9 more cards than us? I guess so, because we mulliganed to 5. He got the draw off of being on the draw. He got Mental Note and Brainstorm. That is disgusting. Okay, well, this is not as bad, so can we afford to sack that? Guess not, because we're almost to a Thought Cast. Okay, that's not too terrible. This will be, though. A third star. So is it worth it to crack one of these right now and try and find a land? Or do we want to go into Thoughtcast mode? I think we have to crack one of these just to kill that guy. But that puts us on must hit a land pretty soon. We'll go ahead and use this, I guess. Maybe one of our only ways of winning is to put something in front of this and Galv Blast it. I'm not 100% sure, so I'll point the Pyroblast at him. And then he, of course, is going to have Geist, but don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to just leave up mana anyway. Don't I have F8 on? Still ask me if I want to block, I guess. Alright, this is looking really hairy. Yeah, it's going to be over real fast. So do we have to try and draw a land here? I think we do. So we drew one. I don't know if it does anything. Doesn't give us Metalcraft. We might be okay. I'm not sure how we play this. I maybe should have thought that through a little more. I don't think I was able to cast Thoughtcast last turn, right? Because I had blue in my pool, but Ancient Den was tapped. I had no artifacts in play, I had none of the 1-mana artifacts in play. I think we're just too far behind in general, but we'll see. He's gonna have another Delve guy. Oh. So we're going to 8, and he's got a couple of Undying Flyers. So now we can do a few things. We can actually play both of our Mirror Enforcers, so that might actually do something for us. I don't think we cast Thoughtcast. I think we have to leave up Galvanic Blast this turn. So let's do that. Man, I don't know how we're beating these Geists, though. So I think we have to double block and blast one of the Geists. But he's going to kill a guy. So annoying. So I guess I blast now. I don't think we have any outs here. I guess Journey to Nowhere. So if I draw Journey to Nowhere, where's the best place to point this Galvanic Blast? I guess Angler. We have to hope he doesn't have another removal spell, though. Yeah, we're just dead. I go to 1, but there's really no saving grace here. So this deck is like getting owned by anybody playing black removal. That's really annoying. I don't like the looks of that. We're definitely casting this, so let's just crack this shit. Doesn't really do enough. I don't think Star can do anything for us. We can Star and find another Thought Cast, but we don't have enough mana to do anything else, but I'll just do it anyway. Okay. Well, I guess we'll make him beat us. And good games. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and thank you very much. Okay, guys, we are back. It's our turn 3, and we have a number of options actually. So we have 5, 6. We can cast Enforcer for 1, but I think we actually want to attack with a Frogmite and play a 2-drop. I just don't know what 2-drop to play. We could play a Tog. We could also crack this, but I don't want to do that. I think we're going to play Enforcer. So 3, 5, 6, and then we can't. Oh, and then we can. No, we can't also play. All right, so let's attack with 1 Frogmite. I want to save the Sphere till we get the Enforcer down, and I don't want to get the Enforcer down right now. So, yeah, that's the plan. We got a lot of gas, so I think we're doing well. I think we're gonna do well. That was an interesting attack by him, but maybe he must have a Galv Blast in hand. That makes sense. So he's probably gonna Galv Blast the Forger, which I think I'm okay with. Yeah. So that's fine. Next turn I get Enforcer and... Wow. I actually get a free Enforcer and 2 guys. But I have to crack the Chromatic Sphere, which is fine. So I don't think he's going to make it out of this. This looks really deadly. So here I'll add red. So it looks like we may be up 1 game, which could be huge for us. And do I play the Sun Chaser or the next Atog? He can't really kill the Atog. I guess any of these Atogs is lethal, so let's just go ahead and do that. And all we have to do is play around a Fling. It's going to my face. Alright, nothing I can do about that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we basically, if his last card is Fling or whatever and he can't cast anything else, all we have to do is block. Okay, we win that game. So he had to mulligan. He was really color screwed. We didn't really see anything, so we can't tell. I mean, we saw Ancient Den, so he's clearly playing Sun Chaser. So I think we actually want to leave in our Sun Chasers, but I tend to not leave them in this matchup. He's going to be playing them, so that's something to consider. I think we want Fling and a Tog, just as a way to steal the game. Which gives us access to this, a little bit of this. We could cut the Perilous Research as well. I'm not sure that Hydroblast is better than Journey here. Maybe one of each. Maybe it just is correct to cut Fling. If we do that, I get access to my Journeys. I don't know if it's actually correct. I think that's about as good as we can do. So more controlling, and we'll see how that goes. Uh-oh, opponent's disconnected, so we may have to pause the video again. Okay, guys, we are looking at a hand on the draw that we can keep. Only has one color, but I think we're fine with that. We got a lot of removal, and he kept a 7. So, gonna be a good game. I think we'll also play the seat. Actually, if he blows something up, we might not want to, but I don't think he'll blow up a land on turn 2. That doesn't seem very legit. Ooh, so he's gonna sack something right away. That doesn't seem very legit either. So next turn we can Thoughtcast, which is cool. He's gonna sack his land. Very interesting. So I'm gonna keep the Ancient Den back because I'd like to protect that from a grudge so that I can journey. Right now he's gonna go hog wild, yeah? Sure. So I have a Galv Blast for that. I also have a Journey to Nowhere. I can also go Land Sphere. That's 4/5, and play an Enforcer. I think I want to Galv Blast his guy and play a Sphere. But if I go Land Sphere, I guess I can go Land. No, I can't do that. If I go Enforcer, he's just going to grudge it. So I think I actually just blast his guy. But I need to play my land first before I do that. Another blue. So I think I'll play the blue, but then that forces me to play Den next turn. So we'll go here. And then I'll go Sphere. So first damage of the game. And he has no follow-up, so he's just got all removal, I think. So So at this point, I guess we want to go double enforcer. 5, yeah. We're probably getting grudged, but I think that's okay. Yeah, this actually is not okay. Oh, he doesn't have the grudge. So I don't know what he's got in hand. Oh, he does have a grudge. Yeah, so that's great value for him. But what else is in his hand? Maybe Hydroblast or something. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing stuff against the wall. So now we have access to Grudge to the top half of it. Is he really just flooded, maybe? Maybe. So... could just Grudge this and attack. If he had Hydroblast, I think he would have used it, but I still don't want to necessarily take that chance. Grudging this gets us some value, especially because he's behind. Uh-oh. Ooh, and there's a second Atog. Yeah, seems like it. I think I'll go with this, though. And now... I'm not sure how many artifacts I want to sack. Maybe just the 2 lands. I think I'm willing to do it now while he doesn't have a blocker. And that's it for now. We have that grudge. Sure. I guess I wanted to keep something back for Galv Blast. That probably would have been a good idea. And he just concedes the match. I guess he was drawing a bunch of lands, but I don't think I played very well that game, so that'd be something to look at and figure out what's going on. So the only match we won was the mirror match. I think that's probably an issue that we want to look into. Maybe my list is bad, maybe I'm bad. But let me know what you guys think, and thank you very much for tuning in to this installment of Time of Doesn't.